What's up everyone? Today we'll learn how to balance your gimbal. It is fairly easy to do. I am not a professional gimbal operator, so I don't do this every single day. In fact, I started using gimbals about a year and a half ago when I got a DJI Ronin. Now I'm using the Feiyutech MG V2. It is a smaller gimbal for lighter setup. Yeah, great gimbal, no tool-less and everything, so it makes for an easy balancing on the fly. So yeah, so if it is the first time that you're balancing your gimbal, if you're a first timer using a gimbal, maybe it is easier for you to use a lighter lens to balance it for the first time. You can use longer lens, heavier lens with this setup, but your center of gravity is going to shift and it makes it for a little bit harder of a balance. But I use this gimbal with the Nikon lens adapter and the Tokina 11 to 16 all the time. It is a super heavy lens, like 1.5 pounds, and it's that long, and there's no problem, but you just need to know what you're doing. For this demonstration, I'll just be using the Sony a6300 with a Nikon 50mm lens. It is a polymer lens, so plastic, super light, which is great for balancing. So your gimbal is made out of 3 axes, has 3 axes. So you have the tilt axis, rotation axis, and panning axis. You always start balancing the gimbal with the tilt axis. So you can hold it. Don't be afraid. You should hold it as if it would be balanced and whatnot. If I'm holding it, actually the camera seems to be already balanced a little bit. But yeah, so how you would do that is you point your camera down first to adjust your tilt axis, and it should be staying pointed down. So in this case, it's going back really hard. So I'll just unscrew my motor fitting here and just push the camera forward a little bit. So the adjustment until it's still falling backward, still falling backward, still falling backward. There you go. Oh, now it's going forward a little bit. So until I get it fully balanced. So see, like now it's getting, so back a little bit more. It's almost there. It's just a little bit of push and pull basically. So yeah, so see here, we're almost there. This is not bad at all. I'll just push it a little bit, and there you go. Like this is balanced. The camera stays like this. I can move it a little bit, and that's it. So now I'm gonna torque my fitting here, and that hasn't changed. So this is great. So why do you want your camera to be balanced by itself? Because the motors will compensate if it's not perfectly balanced, and even if you have like a weird like angle and you leave it like that, most likely your gimbal will compensate for it and work. But the more your motors are working, the less smooth your footage is. Plus, you're putting strain on the gimbal and whatnot. So yeah, so basically you're trying to have it as balanced as possible without the motors, and the motors are just there to compensate the motion, the vibration from your body, your hand, and whatnot. So yeah, so after that, once the tilt angle is done, you can just do there's a second step to the tilt. So it's just like back and forth, trying to have your camera here, like stay here. Like this is really well balanced. I'll just show you. Here I have the base plate screw, so I can move the camera front or back. I didn't plan for it to be balanced, so I'll just show you how it is if it's not balanced. So I move the camera forward. So now the camera is gonna dip down. So I'll just move it again back where it was, and a little bit of back and forth until the camera stays same exercise that we just did with the tilt angle here with the motor. Just need to do this with the camera. So a little bit back and forth until we get it fully centered. and this is pretty good. So what I'll do, I'll just torque this screw, but I felt the camera move here. I'll just move it a little bit again. So you can see that it's a lot of back and forth and trial and error. Also, when you torque your bolt or screws, sometimes things shift and you need to do it again. Some places are hard to reach, even though this is a tool-less gimbal. See, it's still moving a little bit. Yeah, it is a tool-less gimbal, but if you have places that is hard to reach, you can always use a multi-tool, and you'll be able to get the task accomplished. So let me just push it back where it was. Also, one thing to make sure is that some gimbals are, you can go both ways, but with this gimbal, the camera has to be tucked on this side of the gimbal itself, the L bracket here. You just have to make sure that the gimbal is, not the gimbal, but the camera is tucked all the way there. Otherwise, you'll get some vibration. So it might be like left or right, depending on your gimbal. All right, so the tilt axis is done now. That is great. The camera is balanced here. So now we just have to do the rotation angle here. You can see the camera is falling. So same principle, unscrew that angle, that axis, and then move it until we have it balanced. So push it, it's still leaning on the left side, left side. Oh, almost there. Oh, now on the right side. So we went too far. So we just need to do it a little bit less. Oh, again, it's like I said, push and pull a little bit here, a little bit there, and then you finally get it. So that's it. Now we have the tilt and the rotation good to go. So we have panning to do now. So for panning, it's a little bit different. Instead of having it upright like this, we can, let me just push this all the way up for you guys. And then we need to put it horizontal. And I'll just put it this way. So it is the same principle as before. Again, you unscrew this fitting and you just make sure that it is good to go on this angle. So the trick here is that you have to put this arm horizontally as well. And when it stays there, because right now we can say, oh, we can see that it's going my way, but if I move it, it will change the same as the other angle. So the more I push there, it's going backward. Now it's going forward. Again, push and pull, a lot of push and pull, and we have it. So torque this down. So this is tight. So now everything is fine. All my angles, good to go. So let's push it back. Once that is done, you're done with balancing your gimbal. Nothing more, nothing less than this. So there you go. I'll just put the camera this way. If I just start the gimbal, it's gonna center itself. There you go. Now it's good to go. No weird vibration. Like I was saying, if you have weird vibration, your camera is not tucked this way too much, or enough rather. So you just need to move this plate, because the base plate of the camera, basically you can move it forward and backward, or you can move it left to right. So in this case, just move it all the way to the left, so it is tucked to your L plate. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment box below. Please subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.